1. Uluru. The massive red sides of Uluru are jaw-dropping when you see it for the first time in real life. This massive sandstone formation juts out of the Australian desert, creating an imposing table-like formation. Today, Uluru is housed within the Uluru-Kata-Tjuta National Park. The park also contains a lot of other things to do, such as exploring the Kata-Tjuta rock formations, cycling, and learning from the local Anangu Aboriginal peoples about their history and culture. You may have seen images of people climbing the rock, but this is illegal since 2019 due to its spiritual significance for the local people. It's just as awe-inspiring when viewed from the ground, anyway. 2. Sydney. Sydney isn't Australia's capital, but it is the country's largest city. It has something to offer for everyone, from the sophisticated urbanite to the adventurous traveler. Start your exploration of Sydney at the famous harbour, where you can take in the Harbour Bridge and the otherworldly Sydney Opera House. If you can, explore the harbour via ferry or guided boat tour to learn about the history as the city sprang up around the harbour. Sydney is also famous for its beautiful nature. It has many beautiful beaches within city limits, including the famous but often crowded Bondi Beach. If you want to do a little more than tan, you can go on a day trip to a nearby national park or nature area such as Manly Wharf, which is perfect for aquatic sports. 3. The Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and the first time you get a glimpse of the world's largest coral reef system, you'll see why. The thousands of reefs, islands, and cays that make up this complex, living ecosystem have to be seen to be believed. The best way to see the Great Barrier Reef is to go underwater. Organized tours leave from the nearby towns of Cairns and Port Douglas and dock near the reef so you can snorkel or dive, swimming with the local wildlife. If you don't want to swim, you can still get a glimpse of paradise by going on a glass-bottom boat tour. 4. The Whitsundays. If all you want to do during your Australian vacation is relax on the beach, then the Whitsundays are one of the best places to do so. This island chain off the northeastern coast of Australia, close to the Great Barrier Reef, is a true tropical paradise. The Whitsundays are mostly uninhabited, so it's best to base yourself out of Airlie Beach on the mainland. Then, go on boat tours to explore local landmarks such as ancient Aboriginal sites, Heart Reef, and other sites. Or just pick an uninhabited island and pretend you're an old shipwrecked sailor. 5. Melbourne. Melbourne is Australia's coolest city and a must-visit if you want to get an idea of what the cutting edge of Australian culture is like. The city centre has the most landmarks, such as the observation deck on the Eureka Tower and the Melbourne Museum. For a change of pace, head to one of the city's many parks or to the beaches, including retro chic Street Kilda Beach. The best thing to do in Melbourne is not any one landmark, but to walk around and take in the culture. Explore the street art, going down narrow alleyways, visit one of the many rooftop bars. Of course, no trip to Melbourne is complete without sitting down at a cafe and sampling one of the Coffee Mad City's famous brews.
6. Daintree Rainforest. Daintree Rainforest is another spectacular natural destination within Australia's borders. This national park in Queensland has one of the oldest tropical rainforest ecosystems in the world. A visit to Daintree Rainforest is a lifelong dream for many birdwatchers, as hiking through the trees will bring you close to a number of different bird species, from chirping tropical birds to the dinosaur-looking cassowary. There are plenty of organized activities to do in Daintree, such as night tours, canopy walks, paddleboard excursions, and more.
7. Tasmania. Tasmania may be home to the popular Tasmanian devil, but its natural beauty is positively heavenly. If Australia is another world, then the even more isolated island of Tasmania is another galaxy with its strange wildlife and unique biodiversity. Base yourself out of the laid-back capital of Hobart and go on a road trip around the island. You can explore the bush country, climb alpine mountains, relax on the beach, and of course, visit wildlife sanctuaries that are home to the famous devil. 8. Great Ocean Road. The Great Ocean Road is Australia's most famous road trip route, with good reason. The views of the ocean and craggy landscape along this stretch of southern Victoria State are just spectacular. The most famous landmark along the Great Ocean Road is probably the rock formation known as the 12 Apostles, which juts out of the ocean. This is also known to be one of the best hikes in the world. Other worthy stops are Bell's Beach, a surfer's paradise, and the picturesque town of Port Fairy. Of course, the best part of the journey is the road itself, with beautiful vistas weaving along the coast and adjoining rainforest. 9. Byron Bay. Most people perceive Australians as affable, relaxed surfer types who adore spending time on the beach. Most stereotypes have some truth to them, and nowhere will you see this side of Australia on display more than in Byron Bay. Visit this town perched on a stretch of sandy shore for some fun in the sun and relaxing on the beach. The town itself has turned into a great beach getaway, with delicious food and craft beer for all budgets. Plus, you'll get to make friends with Australians also here on vacation. 10. Barossa Valley. The rolling hills of South Australia are home to one of the world's best wine-producing regions. Of those, the picturesque Barossa Valley is probably the most famous. Drive around this region and explore nearly 200 wineries and wine cellars, from world-famous big brands to passionate local producers. The best thing to do in Barossa Valley is obviously to visit different wineries and sample their wares plus accompanying small plates. The region is most famous for red wine, so be sure to try some Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz.